Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. Sorry I had to push back a little bit just to get things settled in. And I still didn't bring my coffee. I need to run and get my coffee, guys. But let me go ahead and share this. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me run and get my coffee real quick. Sorry about that. I made it and I was like, okay, I need to go get my coffee. Now the straw's all the way in the bottom. Damn it. Oh well. Mm. Let me let the people know that we are here. Welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. We live now. So let's catch up on these updates. I'm kind of upset because I purchased a subscription to the Telegraph UK for these updates because it sounds like they're out there too, but they're not giving me all the updates. So that's great. Everyone, we live now. Okay. Shout out to everybody. Good morning. I'm letting the people, everyone. Good morning. Okay, we about to get started, guys, because I have some other stuff I got to cover and kind of go to good morning. Okay. Welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome. Let the people get in here. I know Marsha P. Sky. Okay, girl. Sky is not updating anymore. Neither is the BBC. So the UK, what is this? VP News. And then I purchased a subscription for the Telegraph as well, just in case. But we've been following this yesterday and it was pretty good. Okay, guys, so here we are. We are on day 5 of the stalking trial of Madeleine. Well, the Madeleine McCann family, that's for sure. So yesterday we had the two siblings, Madeleine McCann's siblings, testify. We had some family friends, like a godmother, that testified, and they reviewed and they talked a little bit about the extent in which Julia Wandelt went to stalk the McCanns, the contacts, the Facebooks, the messages, everything was basically shared. Okay, so here we are today. Kate. Sounds like Kate's confidant is on the stand. Day 5 of the trial has begun in the Crown Court. Jurors are hearing from Janet Kennedy, Kate McCann's aunt, who described herself as a confidant of Kate. Okay. She says, Maddie was a part of our lives. Kate's aunt, Janet Kennedy, said that she had known Madeleine well, organized an annual church gathering praying for her safe return of Maddie and all missing children. Instant reaction. No way she was Madeleine. I was stunned by her approach, Janet said. I looked at her and thought, she isn't Madeleine. There's no way she was Madeleine at all. Okay. Shocking claim. I'm Madeleine and can prove it. Kate McCann's aunt, Janet, told the jurors Julia claimed to be Madeleine and handed her an envelope with information to prove it. She said she was sorry Kate and Gerry weren't there and wanted me to pass it to them. So this aunt was at the vigil. Okay, remember there was a vigil that the McCanns did not go to, and they were kind of feeling bad about not going, but they still went ahead with family members holding this vigil while they were out. And then at the end, they found out that Julia Wandelt made it to this vigil, and she just, I guess, was trying to surprise them at this vigil. And so they kind of like dodged a bullet with not going. But it sounds like Janet confronted or at least had an interaction with Julia Wandelt and was given an envelope. Like, this is how far she went for this contact. Minister said someone wanted to speak to family. Okay. Kate and Gerry were not at the event. Posters and photos of Madeleine were displayed at the church gathering. At the end, the minister presented Julia, saying she wanted to speak to a family member. Updates. Kate's aunt tells of a shocking claim made by Wandelt at the event for missing children. Years don't hide the essence. Even though she was nearly 4 when abducted, 17 years later, the essential person who still would be recognizable, Janet added. So Janet is saying, like, even though it's been 17 years, she would probably still recognize Maddie McCann if she saw Maddie at this point. Okay, let's keep going. Julia Wandel lacked Madeleine's essence. It was 17 years on, but the essential person that Madeleine was not there, she said. Intrusive recognition is reliable, aunt claims aunt. Intrusive recognition is reliable, claims aunt. I think one's recognition of someone is something that is intrusive. You just know the person, Janet told jurors. Took the envelope. Janet Kennedy said she wanted to be calm and polite. So she accepted the envelope Julia handed her and thanked her. Oh my God. Can you imagine like having to be polite? You'd be like, this person is saying that you're Madeleine. I don't know if polite would be the thing that I would be. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. Now hold up. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, well, I think Maddie's parents were neglected. I feel so bad they have to keep dealing with this case. Daisy girl, I'm with you on that one, honestly. I'm not a fan of the McCanns. I think that they were neglectful. I do feel bad for them now, given the fact that like it's one thing to have these people show up, maybe leave a comment or say something to the effect or contact the office, the Operation Grange and say, I'm Madeleine McCann. It's another thing to actually follow through with the threats or anything like that are being made, such as, just showing up, to people's properties or vigils or stuff like that. Thank you, Nurse Janice. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. We have a smaller crowd today, so just make sure you guys are supporting and hitting the like button because it does help out. Thank you, guys. Let's keep going. I just want to make sure that we are getting the facts or at least what's being said in court and not like through another means, if that makes sense. I mean, this is another means, but it's actual media there. Updates. Relatives describe a reaction to Wandel claims at vigil for missing children. Wears green and yellow wristband. Janet gave evidence wearing a green and yellow Find Madeleine wristband as she described the incident. Effect on family. Janet said, Kate is like a daughter to me. Anything that affects her affects me. We get anxious and we feel for her. It's been very traumatic for us. Threat of turning up. She would message Kate saying she intended to turn up at Mass in Brothley. Kate didn't feel able to come. The uncertainty produced anxiety, Janet told the court. So you have this woman who is like threatening to show up. And by the way, let me just say the comments, I'm not deleting comments unless they're like completely rude or disrespectful. I've been receiving a lot of like interesting comments on my coverage of this. Somebody said, I don't like your tone, how you cover this. Well, I didn't ask if you liked my tone, the person that made that comment. I didn't ask permission to cover this. I literally just cover this. I have been talking about Julia Wandel for 3 years now. So if I have my opinion made up, it's because I have seen a lot from Julia Wandel. I don't need to deliver this content or my court anything the way in which you feel like I need to deliver. And I'm speaking directly to you who left me that comment. I'm not 15. I'm not 12. So if you don't like my tone, there's not a whole lot you can do. Thank you. Okay. I'm just letting y'all know. It got kind of spicy like that. It did. And shout out to the people that commented in there and said, girl, she's 40. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going. I know, right? Please tell her. Please sit down. Take several seats. Okay. Effect on family. So Kate couldn't go to church. That's what it sounds like. Threats of turning up. She would message Kate about going to mass, so Kate wouldn't come to mass. It's been traumatic. Kate's aunt Janet told the jury Wandelt is the only person ever to attend a vigil claiming to be Madeleine. Can I help you? Thank you. No. No. Sorry, guys. Um, let's keep going. Threats of turning up. She would message Kate saying that she would turn up. It's been traumatic. Kate's aunt, Janet, told the jury Wandelt is the only person ever to attend a vigil claiming to be Madeleine. She pursued it the way she has, even arriving at the house, Janet said. That's crazy. Nobody has gone like that is so ballsy of her. My goodness. Let's keep going. Letter never reached family. Janet Kennedy says that she kept the envelope Julia Wandelt handed her, but tore it up after the alleged bombardment of Kate and Gerry with calls and emails. Updates. Relatives became aware of alleged harassment and did not hand letter to McCann's. Speak of impact to the family. I don't. It's kind of like Emily Maddie's sister who wouldn't tell her mom that Julia was like contacting her. I kind of feel like that. Like she's just like trying to, everybody's trying to protect the McCanns in this circle because they kind of know the impact that this has had on them. The McCanns aren't very liked people. Like, and let me just say for myself, I don't think the McCanns, I have a lot of opinions about the McCanns, a lot of opinions, but it's one thing to have an opinion. It's another thing to actually like go and harass them, if that makes sense. We're not doing that. Okay. She says she was Madeleine. Rev Gladstone. Okay. So somebody by the name of Rev Gladstone told the court that he first encountered Wandelt at the vigil and heard her claims. Oh, so these are witnesses. So Rev was at the vigil and is taking the stand. Reverend Robert Gladstone of Rothley Parish Church, now on the stand, has confirmed that he'd known of the McCann family since Madeleine disappeared in 2007. Updates. Evidence from the Reverend who heard from Wandelt at the annual vigil for Maddie. So the Reverend has finished evidence, giving evidence and left the stand at the Crown Court. No family resemblance claims dismiss. Pretty instantly, from knowing Gerry and Kate and seeing Shaun and Emily grow up, her physique bore no resemblance to the McCann family. I could see no way that she was related, said the Reverend. Okay. Julia Wandelt claims McCanns are her real family. She says she was Madeleine. She said her real parents were Kate and Gerry McCann. And the Reverend gives evidence. All right. So then we have this. It sounds like 4 detective team. DC Scott said in 2022 there were only 4 detectives on the Operation Grange. He described the team as very small. Claims that she is Madeleine. Scott told the court Wandelt called him in June of 2022 claiming that she was Madeleine McCann. Remember, so this was before she went viral. So before she went viral in 2023. In 2022, she was calling up, she was setting up the stage. She was texting friends to ask them if the doctored photos look like Maddie. Like she was asking advice about how to set this whole up. This was a plot, a scam that she had been working on for quite some time before going viral, saying that she was Madeleine McCann. Okay. Scott told the court Wandelt called him in June of 2022, claiming that she was Madeleine McCann. Operation Grange detective gives evidence. Jurors are hearing from Detective Con Mark Dre Scott, part of the Scotland Yard. $13 million investigation in Madeleine McCann. He explained Operation Grange was launched in 2011 to try to discover what happened to Madeleine. Updates. The team responsible for Madeleine McCann's missing person case are contacted by Wandelt and Spragg. So this is Karen Spragg. She's also contacting Operation Grange. Interesting. All right. Seems to have mental health problems. So DC Dre Scott told the court, we use our professional experts for studying the photos to say she was not Madeleine McCann. He said in his police report that Madeleine seems to have mental problems. Wandelt, not Madeleine. After speaking with Wandelt, he wrote a report stating this girl is not Madeleine McCann. He noted that she had a different eye feature and was not Madeleine's age. Updates. Detectives on Madeleine case. Let me stop real quick. James, thank you so much for this $10. Well, I am shocked. I had you at 39 tops rabbit. Thank you. James, are you Hannibal Lecter now for Halloween or what? What's going on? What's up with that? Shout out to James. Thank you for supporting. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you. Shout out to the people from the UK that are like, listen, I don't like the McCanns, but Julia's not Maddie. Thank you for, you know what? Because that's where it is, Joe, honestly. The comments are kind of like this, like, well, if you don't believe, then you must support the McCanns. No, I don't. I really believe Maddie died that day. I think she's been long gone. I don't think she's among us. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. But thank you so much for saying that, because I don't have to like the McCanns. I don't. But I don't believe Julia is Maddie. I don't. I'm not going to let my delusion feed into that. No. Mm-mm. Yeah, I can't get over the age thing. They're not, right, Jenny? Mm-mm. They're not. So thank you guys. And thank you for saying this. I appreciate you guys saying this, because it's like, it's kind of black and white for these supporters. No, I'm not. Sorry. Detectives on Madeleine McCann shares reaction to the claims. Hundreds claim to be Maddie. He told jurors that during his time with Operation Grange, hundreds of people claimed to be Madeleine, relieved to know she was not Maddie. So Dre Scott said Wandelt appeared relieved after he told her she was not Madeleine McCann, following his review of the photos and details. So she appeared relieved. Then what changed? Police called to inform her. Dre Scott told jurors that he rang Julia Wandelt in June of 2022. Listen, the police is giving a statement. Operation Grange is saying, we called her in 2022. She went viral in 2023. That's when we first started talking about her. We called her in 2022 and told her to assure her that she's not Madeleine McCann. This was shortly after she had been to the McCann's home. Look at this. Well, how many times did she go to the McCann's home? This is interesting. Wow. Dre Scott told jurors he rang Wandelt in June of 2022 to assure her that she was not Madeleine McCann. This was shortly after she had been to the McCann's home. How many times did she go to the McCann's home? Because they're only talking about unless it was before. This sentence is confusing. Police called to inform her. Updates. Detective tells Wandelt she's not Madeleine. Wandelt appears relieved. Okay. McCann stalking trial. Follow our live coverage at Wandelt and Karen Spragg. Okay, so make sure you guys subscribe. Shout out to the UK courts live on Twitter. That's where I found them too. So the detective gives evidence. So he's concluded his testimony, and it says exploited by others. The officers added that he felt Wandelt had been exploited by others. I agree. As much as I believe that Julia has done a lot, mental health or not, but I also believe that people played into that and they exploited her too. I believe Julia Wandelt has been exploited by a lot of people. I don't think Julia Wandelt is innocent by all means. Please note that. but I think that she's been exploited. I can agree that she's been exploited by some people. That's right. This isn't saying that the lady is going on this. She went this far, Nanya, and I think you were around when we first started talking about this too. I think that she's been exploited. I think that people that have this vitriol against the McCanns will believe just about anything against the McCanns, even if it's a woman who says that she's Maddie. That's the thing. Like, literally. I should have said I was Madeleine McCann and see how far I would have gone with that. I'm sure y'all wouldn't have believed it, but I'm just saying. Sorry. Yeah. And the encouragement enabling is outrageous. Yes, people absolutely used her. They did. They did. And I mean, people got paid. I mean, you get paid by the view. That's what it is, That's what it is. Okay. Let's keep going. The officers added he felt Wandelt had been exploited by others. Satisfied she's not Madeleine. Asked what inquiries were made, Dre Scott said, "We were satisfied Julia was not Madeleine McCann. It was evident from the photos she sent and information she gave." Cross-examination begins. So remember, they're doing cross-examination, and he is being cross-examined by Wandelt's barrister. Okay. Updates. Questioning of the investigator by the defense. Impressions of co-defendant Spragg. Hold up, y'all. I got somebody at my door. Give me one sec. Okay. Let's see. She went to the house 3 times after the vigil, December 7th, when she met them, and then December 8th, and that's when she left the letter. Thank you, Boost. Thank you. I heard Fia was not working for the other side. Fia is irresponsible for this too. Let's be very real. Yeah, she changed her tune and her mind. Sorry, guys. Fia is very much responsible, in my opinion. She is no saint whatsoever in this. I mean, I'm glad that she cooperated with the authorities. I think that's important. But Fia is responsible for a lot of this. She wouldn't have gotten on Dr. Phil if it wasn't for Fia. Fia saw this as an opportunity to also elevate herself and her own celebrity. Let's be very real. So to me, whether she's working on the other side, it sounds like she doesn't have any other choice. Honestly, Fia flew this woman out there. She fed into her delusions. Fia is very responsible for a lot of this. So to me, I don't think Fia is a good person whatsoever. She's not. Anybody who fed into her delusions is not a good person. It's just not. Sorry. Not at all. They never cared about her. They allowed her to do what she had to do and say what she had to do. Fia was going live every day on her IG. Fia took her Instagram, the one that was I am Madeleine McCann. Fia took advantage of her too. She knew it. She knew it. That's my thought. Okay. Questioning of investigator by the defense. Okay, so impressions of co-defendant Spragg. The officers told the court Karen came across as a lot more reliable than Julia. Okay. Impressions of co-defendant Spragg. Officers told the court Karen came across a lot more reliable than Julia. Madeleine's name cropped up. She was saying something to do with documents around DNA. There was a lot of paperwork, the officer said. I think Madeleine's name cropped up. Look at this. Interesting. erratic and excitable. Sergeant Harper, so now we have another sergeant, told jurors, I remember Julia being quite erratic, excitable, and talking very fast. Oh, girl. 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry, baby bunny. Duty calls. Um, Erratic and excitable. So here's another sergeant. Harper told jurors, I remember Julia being quite erratic, excitable, and talking very fast. She was like that a lot. And I mean, I think that that's kind of a symptom of the, you know, mental health that she has. Paint me a beautiful picture, okay, mama? Paint me a beautiful picture. Erratic and excitable, okay? Turns up at police station. Sergeant Harper told the court that Julia Wandelt and Christian Spragg, so who's Christian Spragg? This must be part of the Spragg family, arrived unannounced at the police station last December. New witnesses and police sergeant testifies. Jurors are now hearing from Sergeant Samantha Harper of the police. Okay, updates. New witnesses take the stand, delivering the testimony on the visit by Spragg and Wandelt to the police station with paperwork and claims regarding relation to McCann. The trial adjourned until Monday. All right, so this is where it cuts off. Now, I did get the subscription for the Telegraph UK, so I figured they got some interesting here. So here it said detectives to give evidence about family's alleged stalker. Detectives involved in the investigation of Madeleine McCann disappearance are giving evidence about the family alleged stalker today. Officers from Operation Grange, the Metropolitan Police ongoing investigation into the 3-year-old disappearance, will tell the court about Julia Wandelt's alleged stalking of the McCanns family between June of 2022 and February this year. Yesterday, the jury was told that Miss Wandelt, 24, sent creepy edited images to Madeleine's sister, Emily, 20, to make herself look more like a missing sibling. McCann's great aunt alleged Wandelt tried to hand family an envelope. So we read this part. She said, I looked at her and she wasn't Madeleine. It was now 17 years on, but the essential person that Madeleine is not them. It was another upsetting experience that the family had to deal with. Okay. Wandelt, the only one to pursue the McCanns in person. Court hears. So, despite a number of reports of people claiming to be involved in the Madeleine McCann case, the alleged stalker is thought to be the only one to turn up at the McCann's village after contacting the family online. So, again, Janet Kennedy is like a godmother and very close confidant of Kate McCann. To the best of my knowledge, Wandelt, is the only person who has pursued Kate and Gerry. She had messaged them and said she intended to turn up. Wow. Wandelt persisted in pursuit of McCann's, jury told. So a village priest, that's the one that Reverend Robert Gladstone was the one who's a witness, not aggressive or emotional, but intended on making contact with the family in person. I did not want to introduce her to the family because I was sure that she was not Madeleine. I have been a bit of a buffer over the years between all sorts of people claiming to know about what happened to Madeleine. This is the Reverend. So then that's when the court pauses for break. This child does not look like Madeleine McCann. This is crazy, man. Like, this is how far this has gone, guys. This is insane. Yeah, people were the supporters were paying for her to travel all the way down there, because how was she getting the money? The girl doesn't have a job. The girl wasn't working. Okay. How was she supporting herself if it wasn't for the supporters? People were paying for her to fly over there to go and meet the McCanns. You can't tell me to the UK from Poland. This is how far this went. This could have been did the minute that Fia and her had the fallout. This could have died the minute that she was with the reporter and then publicly apologized to the McCanns. A lot of us were done reporting this, but it got woken up because of that other channel. That's what happened here. More people need to be held accountable. More people need to be held accountable for that. They do. I'm sorry. More people need to be held accountable. Okay. Audio shows Wandel's DNA was not tested by the investigators. This is what I wanted to read. This is why I got the subscription. A recording of a phone call between the Met Police and the alleged stalker had been played in court. In the conversation, the detective constable Mark Dreyscott was asked by the force to tell Miss Wandel in no uncertain terms that she was not the missing child. He also told the alleged stalker that Operation Grange would not be testing her DNA for a match with Madeleine. In the audio, Mr. Dreyscott said, "All I'm going to say is what I said back in 2022. You're not Madeleine McCann. I think we heard this recording. And I know that this is hard to hear, but I have worked on the investigation since 2011. The DNA is not being tested. We cannot spend public money on that." And people in the comments were like, well, it's only $20. It's only $20. If she's not Madeleine and she doesn't look like Madeleine and her background, she's Polish, she's not Madeleine. Why are we trying to make this woman fit into this situation? I don't care if the test is $20. If somebody comes to me and says, I'm the daughter I'm sorry. And some of y'all might feel like, well, if that was my kid. No, some of you guys are driven by the hate on the McCanns. Think logically. If Maddie was alive, do you guys understand how effed up this situation is? And I don't believe she's alive, but if she was, imagine, say she appears 10 years from now or 5 years from now. This woman tried to take her place. This woman tried to say she was her. Nobody ever thinks about that. Like, oh, yeah, not only that, she tried to beat 3 other people. Why isn't this woman okay being herself? Why is it so hard to beat Julia Wandel? Why isn't Julia just Julia Wandel? That's the question that I have. I asked the people in the comments, and like I said, a lot of people that are watching my videos that are Julia supporters, I want to know, why don't you answer this? Why does she claim to be 3 other missing people before landing on Maddie? Why is she dead set on Maddie now? She said she was 3 other people. How come you guys don't acknowledge that? That's what I want to know. Miss Wandel responded, I can clearly remember something. So why you don't spend the money on the DNA test? I'm not crazy. I have depression and that is all. How can you say that I'm not Madeleine when you haven't tested the DNA? Dreyscott says, we know you're not Madeleine McCann and you are not the first person to claim it. Right. So then what about the hundreds of people that claim to be Madeleine McCann? Should we test all of them too? Should we test all of them because they claimed it? What makes Julia Wandel so special from all the 100 people that have claimed to be Madeleine McCann? Answer me that. What makes her so special that she needs a DNA test versus the other people? That's what I want to know. Thank you, Nix. And shout out to the people that emailed me. Hold up, y'all. Okay, sorry about that. I did. There is, I was sent, let me tell you. So the question was yesterday that I asked people, send me a video of, because somebody had said in the comments, oh, Julia's father did an interview or admitted that he was that he had sold Julia or some shit like that. There's no Netflix documentary that says that. Nothing that says that. Julia Wandel has never been featured in a Netflix documentary. The person sent me a YouTube link of a video. That's not a Netflix documentary. None of that has been made. I've watched the most recent Madeleine McCann documentary. You know what I mean? So there's that. There's that. Okay, let's keep going. I'm not crazy. I have depression. That's all. Dre Scott said, we know you're not Maddie McCann and you are not the first person to claim it. We are happy and satisfied that you are not her. You need to accept that you have loving parents and a family back home. You're not Kate and Jerry's daughter. I'm ringing to tell you that we are not going to compare your DNA. You have to accept it. I understand your reaction. If you go to Lester again, there is an offense called harassment and you could be arrested. The officer warned her and she still did it. Okay. Recap. So they did a little recap here. I'm not going to go through Shaun's stuff. There's another recap here on Emily. This is the crazy part on Emily. I feel really, really bad for Maddie's siblings because this girl was DMing them and messaging them and doing all kinds of stuff. So unnecessary. Fake Madeleine McCann looks Polish, not English, claims the great aunt. Yeah, she looks Polish. When Julia said that she was Madeleine, when Julia, um, she was mentioned in a documentary about but not about her. SA only place I heard was JW say herself in her lies. Thank you. I agree. There is no Netflix documentary. A YouTuber did a documentary about Julia Wandel, and it's just her information that we've already seen. There's nothing else to it. Just my opinion. Fake Madeleine looks Polish, not English, claims great aunt. Okay. And then we read this already. I'm not going to review this again, but that's Janet Kennedy who said what she said. Hearing resumes. Police Constable Mark Dre Scott has returned the witness box to answer further questions. So Wandel's DNA was a mix. Oh, look at this. Wandel's DNA was a mix of three people's court hears. Email correspondence between Miss Wandel and a forensic expert. Look at this. Remember when she was doctoring these she said she had DNA tests. Pay attention because it's all over her IG too. Forensic expert Dr. Monte Miller has been present to the court. The alleged stalker sent Dr. Miller a mix of 3 DNAs, which she believes to include Madeleine's alongside of her own sample. So this is why Dr. Monte, and I have to pause, guys. Pay attention. This is why Dr. Monte has always been sketched to me. Okay. So a couple months ago, maybe a year ago, this is why I have a lot of the supporters come in here and there's a DNA. She's 65%. She's 63%. She's 90. These percentages, okay, that get thrown at me. And I'm just wondering, okay, so, all right, let's just see what this testimony says, okay? Email correspondence between Miss Wandel and a forensic expert, Dr. Montemiller, has been presented to the court. The alleged stalker sent Dr. Miller a mix of DNA, which she believed to include Madeleine's alongside a sample of her own DNA. How she got Madeleine's DNA, I don't know. The email chain shows the doctor explaining to Wandel that the evidence presented to him was a mix of 3 people's DNA, but it matched fairly well with Miss Wandel's own DNA. Dr. Miller added, it may be possible that Wandel has was related to one or more of the people within the DNA evidence sample, but that he required further information, such as the family ancestry, to disclose this. That's what the doctor said. So this is interesting, given that, let's go to her IG page. This is what she did with that information. This is the fraud of this situation. This is what was presented on the Shaun Attwood channel. Okay. They did voice comparisons. Okay. Surgeon St. Clair, this person right here, he's not even supporting Julia Wandelt anymore. He knows the truth. He knows that it's not Julia Wandelt. Hold up. Is this the page with the DNA results part 3? Results were analyzed and interpreted by DNA and genealogist expert with over 20 years of experience in this field. This source must remain anonymous because of the sensitive nature of his work. So he gets this DNA. Who wrote this conclusion? The genetic evidence strongly supports that McCann could be Julia Wandelt's biological father. It doesn't have a signature. It doesn't say Dr. Monte. It doesn't say anything. This woman is known to doctor information. Data aligns perfectly with the parent-child relationship. There's your percentage right there. There's your DNA percent right there. And Dr. Monte was given this information. Do y'all see anything official from Dr. Monte there? Put a 1 in the chat. She posted this, and then this is what they reviewed on the Attwood channel. If this is how we're doing DNA, I'm just letting y'all know that I am related 45% to Lionel Richie. We got some DNA. Yeah. Lionel Richie might be my dad. Some percentages. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. This is crazy insane. Thank you. Dr. Miller told her that what was required to do the. So now Dr. Miller, there's a chain of email and they're talking about it in court. Let's see how far this goes. This is crazy work. Yeah. She doctored all this information. She blanked out all many of the AI bits and pieces. I'm still puzzled on how you have the mix of 3 DNA, and I thought you could only have 2. That's, I don't know, man. It sounds like a wild party, don't you think, Miss Toby? Mrs. Toby's like, how does that happen? This is so I'm so glad that I purchased this subscription, because this is what I was looking for. Julia Wandelt evidence was a mix of 3. Now, please note that you can't just go to Operation Grange and get Madeleine McCann's evidence. How did she get, or excuse me, DNA? How did she get Madeleine McCann's DNA? I don't know. Email correspondence between Miss Wandelt and forensic expert had been presented to the court. The alleged stalker sent Dr. Miller a mix of DNA. How did she get DNA? Which she believed, to include Madeleine's alongside a sample of her own DNA. Operation Grange is the one holding all this information. How the hell did she just get DNA? And then you have the support. This is the Delulu out of this situation, y'all. This is the Delulu, okay? People are like, well, just give the DNA situation, but she did her own sampling. She doctored her own receipts. So y'all still want her to do more DNA to say that she's not? I guess I'm confused. How does this work? You said Shaun did say in the first show that he believes Madeleine is dead. So do I. I couldn't see info, but I wonder if her mother had an affair. I can't believe she went to those lengths. Did the mom have an affair with the Polish man? Because the DNA says the child's Julia Wandel's profile can be fully explained as being inherited from the father's profile, McCann's DNA, with no discrepancies. It's just crazy. And look at all these blanks. And I just like, this is so doctored. You can't even make this up. Somebody said in the comments, I think you need to get their hair samples. Yeah, go pluck people's hair and see how well that goes. That's okay. Here's two. DNA results were analyzed and interpreted. This is Dr. Miller's email. Look. The simple answer is that the suspect is not the source of the DNA on the evidence because there's DNA is not fully established everywhere. However, they do match fairly well. More, it could be her own DNA that she's matching. More than I would expect at random, and a specific pattern emerges that looks like a almost certain family connection. I would look for a parent-child sibling. This is what he said. Now, we don't know. This email could have also been doctored, so we don't even know if that's what he said exactly. Let me see. Is there a part 1 to this? Here it is. The DNA shows that I am not 100% Polish, as you were informed by Fia Johansson, the Persian medium. Okay, so that was a whole nother DNA debacle too, a 23andMe. Please note that's like at the beginning of this whole situation. Who is sometimes a psychic, sometimes a psychologist, sometimes a medium, and sometimes a private investigator with a fake badge. You know, I do agree on this part. We don't know what Fia is. Fia is a psychic, a PI, a psychologist. She's in not one degree can show anything at all. At all. Y'all, this is funny. But they do test even more than one. Julia didn't believe them. Yeah. Northbound this is insane. This is how insane this ish went. Okay, so let's keep going. I just wanted to make sure that we spend a significant amount of time with this because the doctor in the email, of course, Julia didn't show that email, but of course, let's see if there's anything different here on the telegraph. I remember Julia being quite erratic, excitable, and talking very fast. This is what the sergeant said. She was saying something to do with documents around DNA. There was a lot of paperwork. I think Madeleine's name cropped up. She was clearly very passionate in what she believed. Hold up, y'all. And she agreed with what she was saying. That's all for today in court. So that seems like such a short court hearing, but I guess they're resuming on Monday. Okay. So we'll definitely be talking about this on Monday. Maybe I'll do a shorter video to talk about all the crazy things we've learned from this case overall. LOL, I'm not 100% English. Well, there you go. Hold up, y'all. Okay. You said, not that it matters, but all 3 McCann's children were born via IVF treatment. Greetings. So, Julia's not IVF. I don't know why I'm like twisting the words. That's not Julia, right? That's interesting. I didn't know that. That's a new, interesting piece of information. I had no clue. Court case is costing more of taxpayer money. Just simply do the DNA. Why? Julia Wandel already did her DNA. She doctored the documents. Do you guys believe Julia? Why would we need to do a DNA? Julia already said that she's 63% and possibly the mother or the father. I'm confused by that. By the father, right? Why would we need to do another DNA test? That's what I don't understand. Why? Why would they need to do a DNA test? She just doctored her own. I don't agree. I don't think so. Because I think it's nonsense. If you're going to do a DNA test on Julia, then do a DNA test on the hundreds of people that have said that they're Madeleine McCann. Do a DNA test on all of them. Why? What makes Julia so special? That's what I want to know. What's so special about Julia? There's a lot of people out there. Why not do a DNA test on all of them? Go ahead. I'm just being real. Like, what's so special about her? What is she invoking people? I don't get it. Just saying. I told you guys I was going to push back on a lot of this. Yep. Yes, court has cost more than DNA. Yeah, potentially. But I mean, stalking charges are serious, right? Like, stalking is a serious thing. And you know what's so crazy is that she's at my understanding is that she's at a low level of court. They wanted to make an example of her. So she'll be known as the girl who was stalking the McCann parents, you know? Mm-hmm. Why not do a DNA test worldwide? They might find Maddie that way. There you go. Do it to everybody. I want a DNA test too. I might be Maddie McCann. The chat might get a DNA test too. I'm just saying. Let's just do a DNA test to everybody. Sylvia, you're getting a DNA test too. You doing too. A DNA test. Everybody. I'm just saying, guys, it doesn't make sense at all. At all. Okay? It just doesn't. So that's just my thought on that. I am Rihanna, shout out to you, my love. I am gonna go live. I gotta react to BJ's video. So I'm probably gonna go live here in a little bit on that. But we will be following this. Fizz, you're gonna be paid for that. You're gonna be paying for that. Not me. I'm in the US. Y'all gonna be paid for that. I'm gonna call Kate up and be like, I'm not white like Maddie was, but don't give up on your daughter. Go be like, listen, I'm not white like Maddie, but don't give up on your Mexican daughter, my friend. Don't do that. Like, I'm right here. I'm Madeleine. Okay, I'm gonna say it in Spanish. I'm Madeleine. Okay, there you go. That's what I'm gonna do. Yo, I'm telling you, you guys. I got dragged. I'm leaving my comments up. I'm not, unless you're being like completely rude. But like I told you guys, somebody said, so I was telling the people earlier, for those that are coming in, somebody in my comments said, I don't like your tone. My eye defect? I don't know. Dang, I guess I'm excluded now. You know what I mean? I guess I'm excluded. Somebody came into my comments. There you go. Even if they tested her, she would deny it and say it was a conspiracy. It doesn't, right? That's exactly the point. There's no point in testing her because she's going to deny it. She's going to deny all of this. So there's no point now. Somebody in my comments, I have to tell the people that are just now coming in because we're going to end here. But somebody said in my comments, I don't like your tone. I don't like your tone when you're reporting this at all because, you know, and these are the Madeleine McCann supporters. And I'm like, well, you don't have to like my tone. And I'll say it again, like, my honey, you don't have to like my tone at all. Okay. But I'm not like 15. So if I talk a certain way, it's because I've been following this for quite some time. So I'm going to have a tone about it. And I'm going to even be more spicier than before because the audacity to think that I'm not going to push back on these theories. Okay. You can have all the vitriol that you want for the Madeleine, for the McCanns. I don't like the McCanns. I have a lot of questions about it. Have it. But just because I have vitriol doesn't mean that Julia is Maddie. Let's be logical. Let's be logical. Okay. And furthermore, is this for me? Sylvia? Mm-hmm. And furthermore, let's test everybody. Have everybody do a test. Let's just do a test for everybody. Why not do a test with 100 other people that claim to be Madeleine McCann? What makes Julia so special? That's what I want to know. Now, Bruce is another story. Ooh, I got a surprise for you, my love. I do. Okay, y'all. Thank you. That's right. That's right, Miss Toby. You tell him. All right. All right, guys. I gotta go because I know. Thank you. 90.9K like my tone. Shout out to us. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. I love y'all. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I'm gonna do a live reacting to BJ's video, probably in a little bit. But I will see you guys later. Hit the like button. Bye, guys. And those are the updates. We'll follow on Monday. We'll see what happens Monday. Bye, guys.